it's me, Topher. Welcome back to Filara Spirit, and welcome to another episode of Manifestation 101, where today we're going to be talking about emotions. Are you feeling it? Emotions are everything. Now, I know you've heard this a million times before. I've heard it a million times on my manifestation journey as well, but emotions truly are everything. How you're feeling is the key to what you're attracting, or it's one of the biggest keys to what you're attracting, right? And now there is a domino effect, because obviously what you're thinking affects how you're feeling, what you are consuming around you, emotionally, energetically, literally, that affects how you're feeling. Even things like your routines and your work structures and family life. I mean, everything, right? Everything. We are emotional beings. That is the beauty of being a human, right? It's a blessing and a curse all at once. I totally get that, right? But this is just going to be my version, my take, what I've learned along the way. And like I say, always these episodes, my insights are just to help somebody out there who might need to hear it in this way, or somebody who just is going to come across this and needed to hear it. Not everything is going to be for everyone. This is just my version, as always. So I'd like to talk specifically about emotions in practice, emotions in the practice of manifestation, not necessarily passive manifestation or unconscious manifestation, but practicing manifestation. So things like visualization and journaling, meditation, and things like that, right? Because this is something that I have found really, really helpful for me. So when I talk about it in that way, what I mean is like how you tap into whatever emotion it is that you're needing to in order to manifest something specific. So if that's being in love, you want to tap into a romantic feeling. If that's, having loads of money, you want to tap into a financial abundant kind of feeling. And it all kind of comes into play with your imagination as well, which we will talk about too. We'll go into depths on that in a separate episode as well, but we are going to cover it a little bit here today, because they do kind of play a part with each other. What it is that you're seeing or imagining as vividly as you possibly can is going to affect how intensely you feel something. Now, that isn't to say that you can't intensely feel something if you don't have the most vivid imagination. It just does really help, because you're putting yourself almost physiologically in that position. Can you see, not beyond see, but can you touch and smell and hear and possibly even taste whatever you are visualizing? Like the closest you can get, where you're bringing it into those five senses, which are our 3D receptors, the stronger the manifestational energy. So if we can couple that with the intensity of our emotional response to something, that's like tenfold. It's like adding nitro into the fuel tank. So let's talk about why emotions have such an effect. So our mind is wired to take in information, of course. Now, most of the time our subconscious or our survival instinct is trying to keep us alive. So it makes sense that we have evolved to mostly be worried and fear things, right, in order to keep ourselves alive. So when we have certain experiences in our life, whether they're positive or negative, happy or sad, whatever, the more emotion that the situation or the event brings out in us, the more our mind is going to remember it. And that specifically counts for negative things. If we ever feel like somebody we love is in danger, or us, ourselves, our lives, or something is wrong or in danger, our mind is wired to remember that more than remembering that you saw a bird flying past your window at 1:32 p.m. yesterday. It just doesn't need to remember that, because it's not something that needs to keep you safe. Now, it does happen with positive situations too, which is why we usually will remember the happiest days of our lives, or the most eventful things. So most of us will remember our milestones and our crowning achievements and events, birthdays perhaps, celebrations, graduations, weddings, births of children, etc., etc. We remember these things because, just the same as in the negative sense, our emotion is tied to it. We have this overwhelming feeling of happiness and joy and elation, abundance, relief, completion, achievement, whatever it is, pride, etc., etc. The more we have that, the more we're going to remember that situation, right? Because that's how our brain is wired. Now, it makes sense then that we can try and use this to our benefit. In some way, we can try and take that knowledge. Okay, the more I feel good about something, whether it has happened or not, because my subconscious cannot tell the difference between my imagination and reality, the more I can feel the intensity of the emotion that it has happened, the closer I am to manifesting it, right? The stronger the manifestational energy. Not only is it that, but what you're doing is you're telling your subconscious that it's already happened. It cannot tell difference. So as far as it is concerned, certain actions and thoughts are going to start playing out for you in your subconscious without you knowing it, and in your unconscious without you knowing it. And it's kind of going to work itself for you. You'll just start taking certain actions, or start having certain thoughts, or making certain decisions, or wanting to go. That's what intuition is. It's this deeper desire to do something or go somewhere, but with no explanation. We'll get into that in another episode as well. When we are visualizing, journaling, scripting, meditating, however you guys want to do it, anything that really involves your imagination and picturing it as clearly as possible, the manifestation, trying to get your senses involved, taste, touch, smell, sight, and hearing. Taste is a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes it's possible. It really depends on how much you work with your imagination and how vivid it is. It really depends on how much you work with your imagination and how vivid it is. Vivid it is. Oh my gosh. What? You can train it and you can work with it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot do it if you don't have the most active imagination. You can train your brain. I think that's one part of all of this that we just don't understand. Manifestation is not just the getting of something and the wishing for something. It's completely training and reprogramming your mind to work in your favor in order for you to take certain actions, put yourself in certain positions, follow up on certain things, and make certain changes to lead to the thing that you want. Do you know what I mean? It's actually not that mystical. It's really not. It's freaking science. It's science and mystical are like the same thing as far as I'm concerned. I literally they're the same thing. Okay? Science fiction is just a precursor to science fact. Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, when we're visualizing, when we're doing anything with our imagination, and we're trying to attach that emotion to it, especially during sessions, right? It's kind of hard to perpetually have that feeling of it already happening 24/7 because you have other things going on in your life, right? And ideally, you don't necessarily want to be doing that. That takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of time and focus, and you just don't need to be. We'll get into that later on as well. Anyway, so when you are visualizing, when you are trying to get into that emotional space while you're doing any kind of manifestational practice, you want to be able to get to the point where the emotion is so intense that physiologically, in your actual 3D body, you express it in some way. Like literally, you either laugh out loud, you get butterflies in your stomach, your palms get sweaty, your forehead gets sweaty, your neck might get a little bit tense, your shoulders because you're so excited or you're so happy. If it's something to do with love or just, overwhelming joy, try and get yourself to the point where you're crying. That's what humans do. When they are so happy that they cannot express because it's just so much, they just cry. That just spills out. Like, I picture like water just going all the way up here. All of the emotion, so much emotion, oh my God, emotion. And then it all just spills out of their eyes. That's what happy tears are. It's the bubbling cauldron of pure intense joy it's bubbling over. I cry. I happy cry so much, you guys. So much. I literally was doing it yesterday when I was watching the first episode of AGT. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It was the best episode ever, and I literally was just crying for like half of it because I was so happy. I was so freaking happy. That is manifestational energy. That is pure emotion. That is exactly where we need to be. Okay? So let's practice, you guys. Let's practice getting so emotionally literal with the manifestation as if it's already happened that it expresses. You're lying there, you're sitting there doing your meditation, and you don't realize your cheeks start hurting because you're smiling so much, right? You don't realize that your palms are sweating because you're so excited and the anticipation or whatever it is, right? That's butterflies flying around in your stomach, whatever it is. There's so many different ways of the body expressing emotion, right? But you want to get to the point where when you are in that manifestational space, when you are trying to connect to that emotion, you want to get yourself to the point where you don't even realize your body is physiologically representing that emotion. That is you reaching into the emotional ether as if your manifestation has already happened, and your body reacting as if it's already happened without you even needing to do anything. Oh, that's like, it's like pure, it's like the nectar of manifestation. You know how you have like the purest essence of something? I feel like that's the purest essence of manifestational energy, is you just uncontrollably expressing the emotion. Even though it hasn't happened in the 3D, everything in your 3D is reacting as if it is. That's just, yes, superpowers, yo. Superpowers. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm babbling on again. I tend to do that. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to be back with another episode really, really soon. Check out all the other episodes previously in the playlist. Thank you so much for you guys for subscribing. If you liked it, then go ahead, join the club, join the fam. I will see you guys next time. Bye.